wrap the tentacles around your body, squeeze, and then they take the suction cups. They flip open your eyes, and then they suck your eyes out of your head. Watch your step. Watch your head. Most of all, watch out for your eyeballs.
Before it eats everybody. Hurry, that way, down the hall.
What's up, everybody, and welcome, finally, to the Epic Home Haunts podcast. Today, has been a thing, man. This was some issues going on at the beginning of this, but I think we have it solved. We'll figure it out. My name is Josh Quillen. This
I'm Andrew Van Dyke.
is
How we
Andrew
doing?
Van Dyke. What's going on, everybody? Today we have a very special guest. We have multiples of guests today. We have Diane and Preston Meyer, who are the creators of Rotten Apple 907, which, if you don't know what Rotten Apple 907 is, are you living under a rock? If you're into home haunting or haunting in general and you have no idea who these people are, Rotten Apple 907 is an incredible home haunt. We'll show you some cool pictures, little behind the scenes things a little bit later. Yeah, how's it going, Andy?
So far so good. I think this was a test of electronics versus want and will, and here we are fighting through it. I don't think there's any other way to put it.
It's crazy. So apparently the podcast, it says right now we are at excellent condition on YouTube. So hopefully this stays this way.
Yes.
Basically, right when we went to go live, YouTube streaming went down completely. Like the platform just stopped working. And so hopefully it's up. Looks like it's back and running. If you guys haven't, make sure you leave us a comment in the chat room. We are going to be checking that all night long. Just let us know. We want to hear from you. We want to know what you guys think of the show. If you guys have any questions for Diane and Preston, be sure to just write them in the chat, and we'll try to respond to them as live as we can. For those of you who are listening to this podcast afterwards on one of the who knows which platform, make sure you guys check us out on YouTube, youtube.com/epichomehunts. Become a member, because by the time you're listening to this, these live streams will be member only. This one or the next live stream are going to be the last public live streams for this particular podcast, and then they will be members only. If you're wondering what in the world is an Epic Home Haunts member, go to youtube.com/epichomehunts. There's a little join button right there. You can click it. There are two memberships, a $4.99 a month option and a $9.99 a month option. All the junk that it comes with is listed there. But that just basically goes to help out us, helps us make a new film, because we are working on Epic Home Haunts Chapter 2, coming at some unspecified later date. And hopefully sooner rather than later.
We don't need to revisit last podcast.
No, hopefully sooner rather than later. We'll leave it at that. But every dime helps. We self-fund this whole thing. And so thank you guys for watching. Thank you guys for helping. Other than that, if you run a haunt, if you have a home haunt, if you have some form of experience, dark ride, a haunt, a walkthrough, a yard haunt, whatever it is, send us an email. We want to hear from you. Shoot us an email at contact@epichomehaunts.com. We want to know about it. We've gotten a bunch of emails from people already. Thank you guys for sending in those emails. They're not going unnoticed. They're just going into basically a database, and we're going to start reaching out to everybody as soon as we can. Things are crazy right now. It's the beginning of haunt season. Halloween Horror Nights just started.
Oh my goodness, yeah.
Everything's going nuts. So you guys, if you follow Midsummer Scream, which you should on Instagram, you can see they're at Halloween Horror Nights. If you follow Murder House Productions, they're at Halloween Horror Nights right now. One of my favorite YouTubers, Ordinary Adventures. If you don't follow Ordinary Adventures, you should. They're at Horror Nights right now. So it's the haunt community. It's just it's started. It's here. We finally have Halloween again. It
was so funny because we talked about it last week, and then this week I thought I was excited until I was really excited.
Oh yeah, the moment
once it started,
yeah,
I was like, oh my goodness.
The moment the fog starts rolling in, it's like it's happening.
It's ridiculous. It's ridiculous. But yeah,
so excited, so excited.
Real.
And then a haunt here in Orlando, a home haunt, just dropped a trailer. Saw that. It's very exciting. We'll have them on the show in a couple of weeks. It'll be fun. Cool. Rotten Apple 907. This is a home haunt that is unlike almost anything you've probably ever seen before. It's in Burbank, California, in Southern California. They are right near the Universal Studios, Warner Brothers Studios. They're actually down. All the studios are kind of located in this little area. It's their yard and their driveway. That's what they use, but they create insane haunted attractions. So much so that I how would I say that? I don't understand how they do what they do. And they do a new theme every single year. So it's not like they're doing the same haunt over and over again. I've actually got a couple of pictures of some of their past work. We can switch over to that real quick. So this right here, this is the outside of their house and like the platform that they set down every single year in order to build their haunt on top of. This year, I believe this was Kilpetto's Toy Shop, which was 2018. I can scroll over here. That is the outside of the facade. So that's what they started building, and that's what it ended up looking like. It's insane. And you guys can tell that, I mean, it goes all the way down the sidewalk. It's incredible. And then I've got another, this is a facade they did in 2017. I believe this was the portal. That was a fun year. We'll talk about that in just a little bit. Because there was some things that happened that year. But enough from me, enough of just my blabbering. Let's bring on Diane and Preston from Rotten Apple 907. Let's bring them on. Let's go to them. Hey guys, how are you? Oh, I can't hear you. You're muted. Are you guys muted down there?
Let us see.
Okay, we're here.
There you are. Now we can hear you. Here, let's get our Zoom screen.
That's because you're in Florida. You can't hear that far.
That's exactly what it is. We're over here in Florida, and we can't hear you guys. We're trying to get this little thing to go away. There it is. We got it. Okay, woo. Perfect. What's up, guys? How's it going? You guys are building all day today.
Oh yeah. Yeah, we just got in. We're still in our paint clothes and our work clothes. Yeah. And we're still red-faced. It's only 102 out and worked all day in it.
That's awful. Florida is equally is terribly hot. I mean, you guys don't have the humidity, but yeah, no. So, real quick, I tried to explain to everybody that you guys are insane and you do a new theme every year. And if anybody's seen the movie, they know all about you guys. But there's probably a bunch of people who maybe haven't. Can you explain real quick why you guys tear down everything and rebuild it every single year?
Like you said, because we're insane.
I think that was implied already.
Yeah,
right?
I think that was totally implied.
Well, a lot of the reason is we get bored and we don't want to do the same thing year after year. It's boring. And then we figure, well, why would people want to come if we're doing the same thing over and over again? I know you can change up rooms. And we did that once with Wellesley and stuff, but we always feel like, but we felt the second year we did Wellesley, we felt like we gypped everybody, even though we changed over 3/4 of the haunt, felt like we gypped everybody. So.
Yeah, totally. Well, Wellesley Manor was the only time that you guys did a haunt twice. Am I right about that?
Right. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Cool. Oh, yeah. So basically, oh, by the way, happy 30th anniversary. Is this your 30th year, right? That is.
Well, I'm doing walkthrough haunts because last year was technically our 30th year doing walkthrough, but we just did a yard display, so that doesn't count.
Just a little yard display.
And then before that, we always, we moved to here. We've done yard displays for 44 years. It's actually doing walkthrough haunts is 30 years.
Yeah, you guys predate Halloween Horror Nights, which is incredible. The fact that you guys have been doing walkthroughs for as long as Halloween Horror Nights has.
For sure.
Well, Halloween Horror Nights, I mean, last year was their 30th anniversary too, and then they had to basically, they postponed it because of all the pandemic stuff that was going on, or still is going on, and now they're finally having their 30th year. So you guys are in exactly the same boat. But congratulations, that's quite a feat. I don't know if I would have made it past year 2. That's so much work. It's way too much work. So real quick, I want to show some behind the scenes photos real quick. I don't know if you guys are looking at the stream as well, but
no, we can't.
So you guys have been building all day today. These are some behind the scenes things of what everyone's been, what they've been doing. This looks like the outside of the facade, your sidewalk here. You guys are putting up some stone walls on the outside, it looks like. Okay, cool. We got some Some of the same. There's this arched entryways. For those who don't know, real quick, actually, this is the theme for this year. It's called Evil in the London Fog. We'll get into maybe what that means in a second. I think you guys have talked about it at Midsummer Scream. I wasn't there, and I haven't heard.
Yeah,
I haven't heard it.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
I'm curious as to what it is.
Not
'cause I don't
everything
know
you
yet.
think it means, it's going to.
Whatever you think it is, it is. So here's some more behind the scenes stuff. This is an interesting photo. Can you explain to everybody what you guys do with this tarp? Like, you tarp your entire yard driveway every year. Like,
Yeah.
what does this
built
entail?
We built 2 tents. Well, normally we have 3 tent structures, but we have new neighbors this year. And so we decided we can't, before we had a sweet old elderly lady next door, and she let us use her driveway for the VIP line. And so we don't have that luxury anymore. And so we had to move the haunt over 5 feet. And so that meant we had to redo all the tent structures and all that. So we have 1 less tent this year.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Almost the same.
I can see that in this photo.
Yeah.
So you moved it
Yeah.
off of basically your neighbor's driveway and into the grass 5 more feet.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Oh,
So instead of
interesting.
having 3 tent peaks, we have 2.
Okay. Now, has that made the overall? I mean, obviously, it's made the overall size of the haunt slightly smaller, right?
Yeah. hmm
How much smaller are we talking? Because you guys run what, like 1,100, 1,200 square feet every year?
Yeah, we're probably down to about 1,000 now.
Oh, just 1,000 square feet.
Yeah, just 1,000. Yeah.
You guys have just 1,000 square feet to build in like 4 weeks and tear down in like 2 or a week and a half or whatever it is. That's crazy. Here, let's see some of these other pictures. We're gonna go inside
We
the tent
barely
now.
have anything. We have nothing really done per se. That's actually, we can say done for it.
Yeah.
Nothing.
Oh, so you're talking about like props and things that like nothing is done yet?
Well, yeah, I mean,
Yeah.
because, okay, you think of London, and what is London? All their walls are, and 90% of them and all that. So, okay, that means we have all these walls that have to have brick on.
And most of the brick walls that we do have need repairs.
Yeah. They went through the infamous flood.
Yeah,
And,
we'll talk about that in a minute.
Yeah. So, so we're having to redo just about everything. We're taking some of the walls. So it's a couple of the stuff you see out there that, and we'll repurpose them and brick them and do, So we bring over the walls. Just because we have walls over doesn't mean that we're even close to being done, because it's quite elaborate to get it all done this year.
Yeah, no, I can only imagine. So you hinted at it real quick. So you were saying a bunch of your stuff needs repairs because of
Yes.
the infamous flood. So for those who have seen the movie, you know what we're talking about. There was July of 2017. Your storage in Acton, California, and your favorite place ever, Diane, Acton, California.
Favorite place, absolutely not.
There was a flash flood that came through, and it was bad enough that it literally picked up. You're saying it literally picked up those big steel containers like you see in the back of trains and like pushed them a half mile downstream, right?
Yep. Mhm. Took all the floors that we have 2x4 with 3/4 inch plywood, and they went a mile downstream. They literally just picked them up and downstream, and the only thing that saved all of our stuff from going down is that the cargo containers landed into our storage area, and so that kind of stopped everything. So it was like a big pool of water that's kind of stayed there for a while.
Yeah, that's insane. I mean, there's pictures in the film of some of your crew and volunteers that are just wading through I think we had some of Preston too, like wading through this mud and muck that's like knee height or higher. And then
it got to be 4 or 5 feet.
It
You
was
could
that
see
high?
the marking on the walls at one time. It was about 4 or 5 feet.
At one point, I almost disappeared into a fence post hole.
Oh,
I was walking along, I just flourished almost up to my.
Oh no! And then to add insult to injury, there was a beehive that decided to
Yes.
take up residence at your storage unit, and that had to be removed.
Yes, that best laid plans didn't work out so well. So you know those cartoons that you see about how they've got flies or something chasing them as they're running away in the cartoons? Well, this was literally they opened up the walls, and I was upstairs with the hose trying to clean off walls, and up on the top of the hill, and so all of a sudden I hear run, and all the guys haul ass up the hill, and behind them were thousands of bees.
Oh no!
And we come to find out they were killer bees.
Oh, that's all. Just killer bees.
Yeah.
Yeah, we don't have regular bees.
Yeah.
We
So
got killer bees.
just about everybody got stung that day.
Oh
Yeah.
man.
So
I mean, I'm glad we weren't there filming, but then I'm also sad that we weren't there filming because I kind of wanted to see that, but I definitely did not want to be a part of it. Because we were there for was it 2 days or 2 full weekends? I can't remember how long we were
I can't remember.
there shooting. I know it was a couple of days at least. Because we had to come out and do all the drone stuff and then follow you guys back. And whew, man, that Acton is a place.
Oh, yeah, well, we're laughing again today, and Martin's got a picture of me trying to walk through the flood waters that's up to my knees or just above my knees, and I'm ready to fall over and face plant in it. Thank God I didn't. And I started laughing so hard I thought I was all just from laughing, and because you couldn't walk, you had to scoot because you didn't know what was underneath you. You couldn't see. And let me tell you, the stuff that was in that water is all the manure that was floated down from the farms up above the property. And so you had to kind of scoot, and I ran into a pipe, and all of a sudden I'm going, oh shit, and I'm trying not to fall because I'm thinking, oh great, just what I want to do is face plant in this mess. And so we were laughing about it today and the walls, we're still bringing over walls. I mean, was it 4 years later? Yeah. And the walls are still packed full of mud. Some of the brick came off of a couple of the walls, and it's just packed, totally packed. And the columns that are out in front this time, we hadn't used them since the flood, and it's all packed full of the organ that we brought over last year to use. The whole inside of it is just caked full of mud still, or dirt from the flood.
That's crazy.
And when you drive down, after you get out of Acton, you're driving down the freeway, you see all this dirt flying all over the place. It's kind of like, a cloud, like Linus or whatever, whichever one it is, that, the Charlie Brown guy. And so it's funny. It's, like I said, it's our dreaded place to go.
Yeah, I can only imagine. So real quick, so let's get into this year. So this year it's called Evil in the London Fog. What is the theme? What is it this year? Well, as much as you wanna let be known. I'm not sure how much you let me know and it awaken the spirits. So however much you guys want to say.
I have a big mouth. I tell everything.
I wasn't gonna say anything about it. I'm just
somebody just outed themselves.
But yeah, no. So what is Evil in the London Fog? What is this year about?
We've been kicking it around like us for a couple of years, debating exactly what we want to do and what would happen and why would it happen and what's the logic behind the story. Now, can't just do a haunted house that scares. You have a reason to scare people. And so London is foggy, and London has scary things that have happened to it, and London is kind of cool and unique, and so we decided, okay, we're going to do London.
Okay, so it's going to be like an amalgam of just a lot of different, like past urban legends and London.
Yes, I mean,
things.
Everything is known. Jack the Ripper.
Yep. Well, you can kind of see a Jack the Ripper in your poster, right? Is that who I spy?
Yeah, that's
there?
what's in the,
right there. Is that who I'm spying?
One of our scenarios that we toyed with was the reason that they never caught Jack the Ripper, because it was actually Jackie the Ripper.
Because Preston still, a year without being a woman is like,
I wasn't going to bring this up. I legitimately thought about talking about this, and I was not going to bring it up. I was going to.
Jackie is not coming. It's Jack the Ripper.
Oh no! I'm so disappointed now.
Preston is going to be a real man this year. It's, he's not going to play a woman.
So for those who don't know, Preston has an affinity for acting in The Haunt. But as a woman, usually a fairly busty woman, if I remember correctly.
Yes. Well, we've made movies for him, yes.
But let's see. I wonder how many I can remember off the top of my head. So you were the queen in Malice in Wonderland. You were in Enchant Forest, right? Is that what that one was called? There's two more. What were the other two?
Reboot card, the guitar player in Space Odyssey.
Okay, yeah. Okay, yeah. And there's one more, right? There were four. Weren't there four? Or am I mistaken?
Is there four?
I thought there was four.
I don't think so.
If there aren't four, I thought we said there were four in the film. So maybe we have the wrong information.
I think we're gonna have to re-edit 6 years from now.
Yeah.
Well, I can't remember. And we've got this one kid that comes in, and he's always testing me, going, "So Diane, so what year was the troll in the toilet? And what year was the troll here? What year is the troll?" And I'm going, "I don't know. There's too many years. I can't remember." And then come to find out, he actually knows because he's watched the video so much that he was just testing me to see my knowledge.
Perfect. Yeah, well, I mean, you guys have done 30 of these and 14 or 15 yard displays before this. So, if you can remember small details about all of them, that'd be incredible. I don't remember small details about last week. So, the fact that if you're able to do that, it's absolutely amazing. Okay, so London Fog. Not Jackie the Ripper, unfortunately.
Not Jackie now.
Jack the Ripper. What other like London urban legends?
Of course, there's the evil barber of.
Oh, okay, Sweeney Todd. Okay, is there a Dr. Jekyll, Mr. Hyde?
Maybe.
Yeah,
we're still trying to work that one out. And of course, very appropriately, the plague.
Oh.
Well, there was the plague in London. I mean,
Yeah, no, it's true.
And stuff. So, and then there's the Great Fire of London.
Oh, okay. Oh, I'm really excited to see what you guys do with that, because you guys have gotten into some really. Well, so where I was going with this is Midsummer Scream 2018, I think it was, the Dr. Frankenstein. Was that 2017, 2018? You guys did some really cool production mapping effects on the facade that had the windmill and things in the back. I didn't get to go that year when you did the tiki stuff.
Yeah, the windmill.
The windmill. So I would imagine you guys might do some production stuff with fire and things, or maybe I'm setting you guys up for too much work.
You can't, and then we've got such a short distance that we're trying to fit in as much as we can. So we've only got like a room that's 6 by 7 that we got to get all this fire in. And so trying to figure out, okay, how can we do this so we're going to have to do some projections or whatever, but projections are always hard. We don't do them all that often because people walk in front of them. It's hard to get enough space behind. We don't have that luxury of having that much space. So projections are always really difficult for us to pull out.
And a lot of the typical fireworks that you see are good from a distance, but when you're 2 feet away from it, it fails a little bit. So
I don't know what we're doing for sure. That's still a ways before we get to that room.
And that's
after the fire and everything is just embers.
Embers, just do some like Epcot, Spaceship Earth, Rome is burning sense in there, and then you're done. You're good to go. This is insane though. So you guys are. It's what is today? Today is September 5th. It's Labor Day weekend.
Yes.
You guys are opening. Opening night. I can speak. I swear. Is October 22nd. That's what. Is it 23rd? 22nd. I'm looking at the poster.
I don't know. Whatever the Saturday is.
It says 22nd.
We've gone back and forth where it's Friday or Saturday.
Okay. Well, the poster I have says October 22nd. Here, I'll zoom in on the live stream right there so everybody can see. Or maybe it doesn't zoom in. Does it not zoom in? Oh, there it is. There we go. I got it to zoom in. So that's what? That's 6 weeks, 7 weeks. I mean, that's crazy to think about. That you guys are still planning how to do certain things.
Oh yeah,
while you're building it. Is that something that happens pretty often with you guys?
Yes.
Yeah, that's one of the reasons we don't really feel of us that we're that interesting a haunt, because we're always doing things at the last minute and don't really know what we're doing, and the fact that it kind of comes off and people like it is great, but sometimes
we always sit back and go, hey, we managed to pull that off. That turned out halfway decent considering we didn't know what the hell we were doing.
I feel like that's every creative, though. I feel like everybody feels the same way. I mean, we definitely feel that way. Like with this podcast, you know what I mean? Where we're like, oh, wow, we got a live stream working. That's incredible.
Wow.
Like, we don't know what we're doing. That's fantastic. But what you guys do is insane. I imagine everybody on the planet who knows who you guys are and has seen anything you've done in the past would instantly be like, no, your stuff's amazing. You absolutely know what you're doing. And
there's a lot of people that do so much better than us. So
I don't know. I mean, you guys are pretty darn incredible, I think. But let's get into some other little questions here. So real quick, because I wrote down a bunch of stuff. Speaking of things that you guys have done, what is the most insane thing you've ever done? Like ever built either a full house, a maze, or whatever it is. Like what is the most insane thing you've ever done? I've stumped them.
Yeah.
Well, one of the things is putting a dining room table on the ceiling.
Yeah, that was cool. Upside down room.
The upside down room.
That's
So we had to
Wilsley
put
Manor,
the
right?
Yeah, and we put the dining room table upside down on airbags so it would go up and down. That was.
Oh, it was on airbags too?
Huh?
Yeah.
The table was on airbags as well?
It would levitate up and down.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh.
And then, of course, we had to have the upside down butler.
Yeah, well,
That was
was
hilarious.
super clever, though. Can you explain how you did the upside down butler?
With a lot of laughs. I swear we peed our pants every time we had to work on the costume because, okay, you got to figure this out. Okay, if the guy is in the room, has to be upside down. So we put PVC pipes and made a shoulder harness. And so the leg, we had to have legs that went up to the ceiling, which is actually the floor. And so we put a pair of pants on those, which that meant when he was wearing it, that means he had to look out between the fly. That was the only way he could see where he was going is through the fly of the pants. And then his legs, we put a shirt on his legs, and that became his arms. And we hung a head between his crotch, so that
Perfect.
way that was his head and stuff. And he was up on. We built a little tray, a little bump out thing that we put a tray on it with some glasses upside down. And so he stood on top of the tray.
So it looks like he was holding the tray on his hands.
Oh, because his gloves on. So it looked like he had hands on the tray. And so it was quite interesting. Yeah. And one of the things that that was one of the hardest things we did, because to think of everything in reverse was very difficult. I mean, have you ever set a dining room table upside down? Picture. Okay, which side the silverware goes here or there, and we couldn't put it on ahead of time because it took everybody. Because did we find a nice lightweight dining room table? No, we found some really cool ass dining room table that somebody threw out along on the curb, and it weighed 6,000 pounds.
Oh, no.
And so it took 4 guys to hold it up there, and so I couldn't put any of the table setting on it ahead of time. So they're trying to hot glue the place setting on, and the hot glue is coming down on top of me, and it was interesting, but it was one of those. So we'll always remember that one.
That's pretty incredible. So that's one thing that you guys did that worked. What's one thing that you guys have tried to do that you thought was going to be, you put a whole lot of time into that just ended up completely failing?
There's been a couple of things there's been several things that you spend a whole lot of time on, and you think this is going to be really cool. This is going to be really great, and it ends up being okay. it is cool, but it's not really scary.
When we in the old mining town, we had some beams that were supposed to look like they were falling. So Preston worked and worked and worked to the point that I was getting pissed off because we have all this other stuff to do, and he's still messing with these stupid beams. And I'm going, come on, and I'm nagging him. You know me, Josh, and and stuff. So
yes, I do.
And so I'm going, oh my God, just get down with these beams, and like nobody noticed them.
Yeah, started with 2 air cylinders, and I went to 4 air cylinders.
They were supposed to
and I
break.
went to 6 air cylinders.
Oh, good
and
Lord.
It worked,
Wow.
but most people didn't
Nobody
even
saw 'em.
notice them.
No,
Because they were up high in the air, and nobody looks up.
no.
This is
Yeah.
this
It was
is
a
what
total-
we mean when we say that you do incredible things. Like, who is building and taking the time to put 6 air cylinders into these 2 pillars that ends up that nobody ever sees, right? Like,
Yeah.
the fact that you guys put this much time and love and effort into it is absolutely incredible. Real quick though, I actually found a video from TPA, from Theme Park Adventure, rest in peace Theme Park Adventure, of the Upside Down Room. So here, I'm gonna play this for some people real quick. So let's see if we can see this. It's a little dark. We're coming down the hall. Then we make a turn. We opened the door. That's what it was. And now we are in the Upside Down Room. So there's a chandelier on the floor. And we get to see the butler in a second. This is mostly Manor 2. I think this is the second year.
Oh yeah, but so we didn't have the butler in 1. We only had the butler in 2.
Yeah, so here's the butler.
He should have been there.
And there's the table.
You
And
might
then there he is. So he jumps off. And everyone can see he's got gloves on his feet. And yeah, that's absolutely incredible. All right, well, let's dive into some questions from the chat and questions from Instagram, because we've had a couple actually. We posted out on Instagram. We did a story saying what people wanted to hear from you guys and what they wanted to know. So we had some people write in. So Jake Hamilton, 23, says, how much of your time, or how much of your props and sets are from previous years and how much is new? So what do you guys, what's the percentage?
Most of it is recycled.
Yeah.
We almost know props that end up being left over for years. There's a few that were unique and we kept, but most of them, like the dragon from Not So Enchanted Forest. Part of it is still sitting out on my pool deck.
Yeah, it's cool deck.
But it's been rated for parts and there's no skin on it, and it's just a bare animatronic
I mean,
thing.
we keep the walls and stuff, but most of the other stuff we can't keep everything. Some of the little stuff that you might use again, but in the Death Triangle, you have the jellyfish. I've been trying to get rid of that for 2 years, but COVID hit, so I haven't been able to get rid of it yet. And the Kraken and all the Kraken tentacles and all that, we sold those. And Reign of Terror's got the clown from the year we did Wilsley's House of Fun. They took the clown face and they've got it, and the bumper cars. And they've got it. Now, one of the bumper cars is now at another friend's haunt. So they've been kind of passed around.
Well, I think we have 8 or 10 trees that we made for Wizard of Oz. And
yes,
and they've been handed down to different people and went around. Some of them have been living outside for 10, 15 years now. So because when do you need trees? Well, just about every year we end up needing trees. And
we rebuild them because we don't ever keep them. We don't have that much room. I mean, we have a lot of room out there, but Josh, it's all full of.
Yeah, I was gonna say, I'm chiming in here for a second. You guys say you don't have that much room. Okay, so you guys have. For those who don't know, by the way. Let's go through this real quick. For those who don't know, Diane and Preston have taken over their pool. They've filled it. They built a pool deck on top of that. Filled it. Then that's been covered by a tent to protect it, and then that's the concrete all around where the pool filled, completely filled. There's an entire work shed full of stuff. Then the back part behind your fence where that's part of your driveway, that's been tented and filled with tools and like storage and stuff. Then you have like what, 2,000 square feet or something like that of outside storage in Acton.
How many? Like about
3,000 square feet. Okay, so you have even more storage in Acton. Like you guys got a lot more space.
But you got the storage unit that we had to rent. That because one of their neighbors complained because we went through a whole thing about, and we had all of our tents down the driveway and all that, and we put one back, but the other one that was full of all the props, the small props and all that, we couldn't put back because we were going to get in trouble. So we have to another garage someplace here in Burbank to store all that.
Perfect.
So,
you have
whenever we quit doing the haunt, we're going to have a lot of extra money.
Yeah. Well, speaking of, so another question was, what is the average? I don't know if you guys want to necessarily disclose this, but what is the average cost of one of your haunts? Like, not necessarily the overall like value of it, but like, what do you guys try to spend every year? Like, is there a budget you guys have every year that you don't want to go over, or?
We have no clue, and I don't want to know. There was Perfect. One year, Melissa, my daughter, decided that she was going to take control, and she was going to keep track of all the money that we spent. And so she told me I had to give her all the receipts of all the stuff that I was buying and all that. Well, then I realized, oh shit, she's going to know how much I spent. So then I started hiding receipts from her.
That's not how
And she
it
caught on
works.
that I was hiding receipts, so she gave up and stuff. We don't keep track, and I don't really want to know.
Perfect. All right, great answer. Not the answer I was expecting.
Yeah. No.
That's awesome. So Fairbrook Manor wants to know, can you give any newer haunters some tips? Like haunters that are just starting out, what should they, maybe one or two tips, what should they know? Things maybe to do, not to do.
To your neighbors.
Yeah, be nice to your neighbors.
Yeah.
Even though some of them are trying, you need to try and get as good relations, because it only takes one neighbor that can shut you down, because the cities don't really care how many people love your haunt. If there's one or two that hate it, those are the ones they're going to listen to.
Yeah.
That and we started small. We started just doing small yard displays with minimal animations and animated props, and didn't really do animatronics for quite a while. And then we got into doing sound and lights. And the sound and lights make a huge difference in a haunt. So if you do nothing else, even if it was just totally static with a couple of actors, have some sound and have lights.
Well, and a lot of the stuff, you don't always have to jump out and scare people. A lot of the anticipation of a scare, you can build it up and by the sounds, make it creepy and all that. And they can a lot of times scare themselves without you won't even have to do anything.
Yeah. The theater thing that they say, you got to go into the theater willing to suspend your disbelief. Because, most theaters, obviously it isn't real. Well, with a haunt, you want to try to make it as real as you can so that they buy into it. As soon as they walk in the door, we have people that are instantly transported into whatever you're doing. They bought into it. We had one guy that in our house of fun that he got into the first room, and he was in a group with 3 other girls that they came together. 3 girls and this one guy, okay? Macho guy, right? He turns the corner and goes, "There's clowns. I don't like clowns. I'm not going through this." And they could not convince him to go through the haunt. He went out the front door and
Perfect.
never went through the haunt.
Perfect. I'm sure you were congratulating yourselves on that one.
Oh, yeah.
Pretty high.
Yeah, our biggest year was Burbank Underground when we had, 50 or something people go out the chicken door?
Yeah, after 2 scares, waiting in line for an hour and a half, 2 scares, and they were out the chicken door.
It was great.
That's awesome. So we got a couple of questions from the chat on YouTube. So somebody's asking, how did you make that skeleton horse that you guys had in, I think it was Portal, and then that actually made its way to Midsummer Scream, right? They're wondering, how did you make it, and how many air cylinders did it take to lift that horse?
To make it was the Home Depot skeleton horse.
Okay.
And we corpsed it, and it was paper towels and latex, and put them on, and then we went and antiqued it down, and then he did all the cylinder work.
Yeah, there were 2 small cylinders that made the legs go up and down, but the body itself was one pretty good size air cylinder that to raise him up and down.
He now lives in Palo Alto, or where is it? Where is it that we went to?
Yeah.
So it's been moving around. It's been several homes.
So the horse is traveling now.
Wow.
Yes,
Yeah.
it's traveling. Last year,
Out.
year before last year, it was in. So
That's in Santa Paula.
yeah, Santa Paula. That's where it is now. I think that's its forever home.
That was a
right
correct
now.
answer, by the way. That ding verified that was a correct answer.
Oh. Sally Preston breathe.
So okay, here. No, so a couple other questions. So given that you guys make new themes every year, do you already know what you're going to do next year, or have an
No.
idea of what you might want to do next year?
Most of the time we do, but this year it's kind of, this year's occupied our thoughts so much that I don't think we've really got too much of an idea of what we're
No,
going to do next year.
No. It was one of those that we had talked, usually we do. You're right. By this time, we usually know what we're going to do next year. But this year, we're not sure. I have no clue.
Interesting. Yeah, I was like,
Suggestions.
you guys are usually, I remember like when we were doing interviews, you were like, we've got like 5 ideas like sitting in the back burner that could potentially happen.
I think this year it's we've got so much that we've got to do, and you got to figure that they've got all these different buildings that are in London, and each one, okay, is it going to have a window? Is it going to have a door? What's it going to have molding around it? Is it this and that?
Right.
It's been so time consuming that we've had 15 plans. And we've counted them, and so it's been so that we haven't even had a chance to think. Maybe next month we'll come up with something.
Because I'm still trying to figure out how I'm going to build the barber chair and what it's going to do.
Oh.
It just can't sit there.
No, I
It's gotta
imagine
do
it. Yeah, no, for sure. That actually brings me to another question, because I can only imagine what you're going to do. So while you guys are planning this out, are you guys doing any pandemic preparedness stuff? Like, how are you guys dealing with that?
That was my question, actually. I was literally about to ask it.
Oh,
So, hey,
perfect. Okay, there we go.
Yeah, everybody in the haunt, all the actors have to wear masks. Everybody that goes through the haunt has to wear a mask. Everybody that's in line waiting for the haunt has to wear a mask. We're going to ask them to sanitize before they go into the haunt. We're going to have some stuff hanging down, and I'm contemplating about seeing a way that we can go in there and sanitize in between every so many.
Oh, okay.
To try to keep, keep everything somewhat safe and all that, because we are concerned about it. I mean, last year we joked because Preston, we put him in a bubble because I always said if he got COVID, it would be really bad news. And so we kept him in a bubble all last year. And then we got COVID in January. So that screwed that all that. I guess he survived. And,
thank God.
Yes.
Yeah. And so we're trying to be very careful and make sure that we're going to do the best we can. And nobody's going to go in without a mask. That's just plain and simple.
That was the 4th woman, Madame Leota.
Oh,
Madame Leota.
there
He
you
was
go.
Madame Leota.
Okay, there we go. See, 4. I knew it. Vindicated. All right.
Right? And then I think to follow up on that as a quick follow-up question, like, is there any kind of implementation from the state or the local government that you have to follow? I think that's another thing that's really been kind of on my mind in California specifically.
Yeah, and we've gone back and forth even about whether so they said nothing to us so far. Now I do have that you have to wear a mask, and I told them that all the different things that we were going to do, and they have not come back to us with anything. Burbank has a mask ordinance that if you go in any place you have to wear a mask.
Sure.
And if you're out in public, I think now, if in large gatherings, this would be a large gathering, you have to wear a mask. So
got it. Okay. Well, that's good. I'm glad you guys are taking that into consideration for sure.
And we're going to be militant about it.
Yeah.
Good.
If you don't want to wear a mask and you want to sanitize, you ain't going through.
And we had even talked about saying only vaccinated people could go through, but I'm not going to be the one out there fighting these people.
Yeah.
It was hard enough sometimes with the mask, let alone, so I can't.
That's a conversation for another podcast.
I mean,
but yeah.
no. I mean, a full-on the full-on part of that is like, how are people going to prove it, right? And then you're going to have to take people's word, right? And then it opens up so many different, layers of what could be
about it because we've got people inside that can get sick.
Yeah.
Yes.
I mean, they've all been vaccinated. Everybody around here has been vaccinated, but still, it doesn't mean we're not going to get sick.
True.
Exactly.
And so we are equally as worried about the guests as we are the people, our actors that are inside. And but as I told Preston, I says, I don't know how we could, we can do it. And somebody said, oh well, I and you're going to have to fight them, and I can't do the fight. There's just no way.
Yeah, it's not. It doesn't seem like it would be something that would be worth. It's worth that. No. It's worth it, but at the same exact time, like you're already putting something on for the families and the kids and everything like that, and there's no need to make a scene over something.
No, not at all.
If they're going to lie anyway, right?
Yeah, I mean, if they put a mask on and they sanitize before they go in, and then I mean, in some respects, they're at their own risk. They're the ones that are going through. I just worry about the people inside.
Yeah, absolutely.
That I don't want to get them sick.
Yeah,
absolutely.
But you guys are doing the right thing. I think making with the precautions that you're implementing. I think it'll be good. Yeah. I think it'll be great. As long as people try to, not push the rules a little bit. Hopefully, it'll be great.
We were pretty successful last year. I mean, we told everybody they had to wear a mask to see the display. And I was counting down the days after Halloween to make sure I didn't come down with COVID. But there was only like 2 or 3 out of the entire group that we had to. And one lady, I had to ask her to leave because she just wouldn't do it.
Yeah.
But most of the other ones, we gave them a mask and they put it on. And
that's
there was
awesome.
No problem.
That's great. Fantastic. Yeah, that's good.
Providing a mask?
Oh, yeah. I mean, the fact that you guys are providing it too is fantastic.
Well, yeah, we had it last year. We had hand sanitizers and masks. One.
That's amazing. That's fantastic. So real quick, is a couple 2 more questions, I think, and then we'll let you guys go because I know you probably want to shower and get out of paint clothes.
Well, no, we have to take the trailer back to Santa Clarita.
Oh God, you got to go all the way back. Oh, okay, we'll get you going. We're gonna get you going.
We just unloaded the last load from Acton, so we got to now take the trailer back.
This is how dedicated Diane and Preston are, by the way. They're here talking with you guys. They still have to work after this. Okay, so question was, do the new neighbors seem like they're going to be okay with the haunt? How's that going? Oh no, I don't like that moan. Okay.
Uh-oh.
I think that yesterday night, day before yesterday, that the neighbors down the street from us, line-wise, had a meeting because they all got together and our new neighbor went down there and they were out in their front yard, circled, talking. So we kind of have a suspicion that their talk subject was us.
And she's not really asking. We've been out there for a month or more planning, and we've got the paint lines on the grass, what's left of the grass, and all the paint lines. We've been out there, arguing about how we have to go and all this kind of stuff. And she comes and goes and she doesn't say anything. And so we're going, okay. And when we brought over the first load from Acton, she kind of gave this kind of frown, and we put the tent frame up. She was kind of frowning, and I'm going, okay. So then today, I guess she asked if, so how far does this come over? And the guys told him right where the pole's in. She goes, okay, well, because I'm fence along there. So she is putting a fence along a driveway just so we don't encroach in her driveway.
Got it. Okay.
So that tells you how things are going.
Yeah, well, hopefully it stays civil. I mean, I can only imagine. I mean, if you're not used to what you guys do, or ever, if you've never seen anything like it, and you move into the neighborhood, and you're like, what is this? Like, I can imagine that being a pretty big shock.
When they sell any house on our neighborhood, they have to put it in the disclosure about the haunted house.
Really?
So I didn't know that. She knew about it.
Oh, interesting.
She knew about it ahead of time.
That's insane. All right, I've actually got a picture real quick if we want to switch to the iPad here. So this is the house. This is a really nice 3/4 view of everything that's going on. So you can see the tents in the driveway. You can actually see if I can zoom in, you can see the paint marks there on the floor. It's pretty fantastic. There we go. Okay. Yeah. So anyway, okay, real quick. So let's go back. I think we had one more question. Sorry, we're having a weird technical glitch for just a quick second. Very strange. What is going on there? I don't know. The last question was: after 30 years, do you guys have a favorite theme?
Oh my God! Everybody asks us that,
and it does change.
Yeah,
because since we're trying to kind of make each one a little better than the last one, the ones that we've done recently have been different, and when we look back on them, we go, oh, hey, that actually turned out pretty cool. For years, my favorite personal was Burbank Underground because of how well the elevator worked out.
Mine was Wizard of Oz, and that was the first year we made all these trees and we did all that stuff, and we made Annie M's house, and it rocked. It was the first year we had the airbags. We bought the airbags, and so the airbags and the house rocked, and then you went into the tornado, and then you went into Oz, and so that to me was but then as we were doing the video for Midsummer Scream and stuff, and you're looking back at all the years and all that, I'm going, oh, that one was pretty cool. Oh, that one was pretty cool. So I used to always say Wizard of Oz, but then after I started putting all that PowerPoint together with all those pictures, I'm going, no, that one, the mining town was really cool. That was a lot of detail and really cool. Nobody in their right mind would make that many rocks. And so, and so we go, okay, well, that was cool. So it's one of those, we used to have a definite answer, but then after looking at all these pictures, going back, reminding ourselves about it, going, oh, so now we can't really tell.
I mean, that makes sense. You guys, I mean, after 30 years, you know what I mean? I'd be hard pressed to remember or choose one as well. Yeah. It's like having, which one of your 30 children do you like the best? You know what I mean? Like,
well, luck out. Well, I only have one, so we're okay.
Yeah, exactly. Okay, cool. So one final question here was, I found it after we were done. Has there ever been an accidental scare that worked really well that was not a planned scare?
Well, it was a planned scare, because I was going to make this comment earlier when we were talking about big scares and things that didn't work. One year when we had first joined cow haunts, and for people who don't know cow haunts, it's the California Haunters Society, for basically Southern California area haunt group. And if you're starting a haunt and there is a group in your area that doesn't, join it, participate, go to meetings. It is the best thing ever that happened to us. But we built a bicycle pump pneumatic. And it's one of the things that I tell everybody, don't do this because it's downright dangerous and it can explode and kill you. And I've got pictures of people's legs that have been split open by exploding plastic pneumatics.
But anyway, he still uses it.
Yeah. So, okay. This is a bicycle pump. It goes up about 24 inches and goes down. Yeah, so it's a decent stroke on this air cylinder. And we put a head on it, and we kind of made it up like a corpse, and it went up and down. And I'm going, okay, this is not going to scare anybody at all. It's not scary. I mean, it's kind of cool, but it's not scary. So that year was Vampmont Village, a retirement home for vampires. And part of our
well, that vampire was because my grandparents had just moved into a retirement home, which was called Belmont Village.
Okay.
And so that's how we got Vampmont Village. So
I like it.
So in one room we had a nurse's station, and we had a vampire laid out on this gurney.
with blood dripping into his
with
mouth.
an eye hanging down that would wiggle a little bit, and his head would kind of move like he looked like he was trying to catch the blood in his mouth.
Oh, it's funny. Okay.
And then we had medicine cups with M&Ms in it, sitting on the nurse's counter.
Those are your pills.
Got
Yes.
it. Okay.
And we had people that would took the M&Ms and ate them. Now, would you, in a strange area, in a haunted house, pick up a cup of something and eat it?
I mean, we were prepared
No.
for it, so, but, you know, we were just
That's a
really
no.
surprised. And then what was funny is they're taking the M&Ms, and then we had the head of the nurse on this pop-up, and she would pop up from behind and scare the crap out of
Yeah,
them.
just about the time they down the M&Ms,
Like,
their head would pop
on
up,
M&Ms.
scare the shit out of them. M&Ms would fly.
I would be more worried about the choking factor at that point, scaring it.
No,
Yeah.
I didn't even think about that part.
I
of
mean,
it.
at the end of the day, it's an M&M. It's going to melt in about 30 seconds anyway. But, you know,
True.
that whole melt in your mouth, not in your hand thing, you know, that's hilarious. Well, guys, thank you, honestly,
Truly.
for joining the podcast. I super last minute, like I messaged, for those who don't know, I messaged Diane, I don't know, was it Friday or something? It was like, hey, I know it's Labor Day weekend and you guys are probably building a ton of stuff, but can I steal you for an hour? So thank you guys for coming on. Seriously, it's fantastic. If people want to get a hold of you, if they want to see what you guys are doing, where should they go?
Our website, we have rottenapple907.com.
Perfect.
And we do have Instagram.
You have a
I
Facebook
don't
page and an
believe-
Instagram.
Yeah.
It posts
Yes,
every
I would have
once in a
Facebook,
while. Every once in a while, you guys post. All that stuff is actually linked in the description below in this live stream. You guys can click straight through to see any of Rotten Apple 907's stuff. It's incredible. If you guys haven't watched the film, watch the film. It's on Amazon Prime. You guys can check it out. Rotten Apple is all over it, and there's only 2 years of Rotten Apple in the film. We have 2 additional years of Rotten Apple on our YouTube channel, and we're going to be going this year. By the way, we'll be there this year. We're going this year.
Cool.
So I don't know what day we're going to go, but we are 100% coming this year. So Annie and I'll be out there definitely
Don't
going to
ever
film.
come on the first day.
No. It'll
come on the
probably be second weekend last weekend in October. Probably. We'll see. We got to figure it out. We have to plan it around this guy's birthday because this guy was born on Halloween. So
I'm sorry.
Okay.
Oh, you're one of those.
he's one of
Cool.
those guys.
Yeah, I'm one of those special
Very
guys.
cool.
Yeah, he's October 31st. I was September 13th, so I was like backwards 31, and I was 1 month off. I was so close.
Yeah.
Yeah, so close.
Well, we thought Melissa was going to be. She tried to be the third. I didn't think she was ever going to come out, but
Yeah, she's
finally on
very
the
close.
26th.
Yeah, so she's super close, right? Yeah.
26th.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Well, thank you guys for
Yes.
joining the podcast. We'd like to thank our members real quick. We got Mr. Scott, Drake Carpenter, and Wicker Manor. Oh, God, sorry, Wicker Manor. Thank you guys for becoming YouTube members. If you guys, anybody else wants to join up and become a YouTube member, it helps us out. Helps us make a sequel to this thing, Epic
Yes.
Home Hunts Chapter 2. We announced it last week. We're officially working on it. It's coming maybe 2023. I don't know. We'll see how long it takes to make because we're going to as many states as we can. At this point, I think we're at like 10. We'll figure it out. It's going to be crazy. So if you guys join up, it's $4.99 or $9.99. It's a monthly cost, but you get a whole bunch of extra stuff for it. If you guys want to, you can check us out on Instagram, Facebook. We have a Twitter. We don't ever use it. So Instagram and Facebook. Instagram mainly. Check us out there. It's instagram.com/epichomehunts or facebook.com/epichomehunts. Once again, if you have a haunt and you want to let us know about it, we want to know about it. So email us at contact@epichomehunts.com. We would definitely want to hear from you. Maybe have you guys on the show or drop you guys into the film. We'll put it up there. There it is. Contact@epichomehunts.com. Whew.
Man,
This is good. Thank you guys for joining again.
I really
Thank
can't
you.
imagine